Hello and welcome back. Now, question for you. Do you think John Teacher is audacious? If you don't know what audacious means, brave or daring or bold. So, if you think no, not a problem. But if you think yes, is John Teacher always audacious and brave and daring? Or is he sometimes brave or daring? That is what we're going to cover in this video. Not me, just in general. So we're going to look at two nouns from the same word, audacity and audaciousness. And we're also going to look at the adjective audacious. Let's confirm what we know about nouns.
Look at that item over there. Let's give it a label. We will call it a chair because the label says chair.
So, look at that chair. See that chair? Why do we know it's a chair? Because we label it a chair. The word that we give to represent that chair is chair. All right, it's just a label. So, can we use nouns to describe a person? No. But we can actually use them to represent things. But people do get confused with this, and that's what we're going to try and do here. We're going to help you understand how we differentiate.
Describe the chair. The chair is square. Square is an adjective, and it helps us describe the shape of the chair.
We know that nouns are naming words, and a lot of people stop there. They don't really process that nouns do something else, and that is representing a person, place, thing, or idea.
So, if nouns represent a person, place, thing, or idea, what is represent? A president represents his country. A heart shape can represent love. The following nouns represent personality traits like thoughtfulness, ambition, friendliness, sensitivity, audaciousness, determination, creativity, generosity, confidence. Think of this boat as a person. What other words can express confidence, boldness, braveness, fearlessness, audaciousness? These nouns are all synonyms, and they are personality traits. These synonyms represent this boat's confidence. Twins with different personalities. A has shyness, B has confidence, and A is not a brave boy. He doesn't like singing in public. Today he sang in front of a big crowd of people. B is shocked. This is not normal behavior for A. B thinks, wow, A has audacity, because A performed an audacious action. Sometimes A can be a little envious of B, because B is confident and doesn't mind singing in public. B has confidence, boldness, fearlessness, and audaciousness. A can perform audacious actions, but A isn't an audacious person. B is an audacious person. B can perform audacious actions at any time. A has the audacity to perform audacious actions sometimes. In a nutshell, audacity equals audacious sometimes, audaciousness equals audacious always.
I'm going to give you a little story about a boy called Jimmy, or a young man, or a man, or an old man. Well, last week, Jimmy was walking behind his friends very quietly while they were just chatting and laughing. Then Jimmy saw someone harassing an old woman across the street. Suddenly, Jimmy shouted at the bully to stop. His friends turned around and they were surprised. They were really even shocked, okay? Because when they discuss it later, they remarked that Jimmy's audacity was very strange because he's generally a quiet and average person. His personality is kind of like just very, very quiet. So the noun audacity refers to a single bold or daring act, like a moment of bravery. Nouns represent a person's traits or personality. So, for example, the noun that does this is audaciousness. All right, so forget audacity now. We're talking about audaciousness. This defines someone who is consistently acting bravely. All right, this trait serves as a representation of his personality. The character's audaciousness is consistent, always showing boldness, daring, or courage in many circumstances. Now, let's go back and change that story about Jimmy, who isn't shy. And if we changed it to make him more brave, his friends might think he would get into trouble because he is too brave. They know that if Jimmy sees any kind of bullying, his audaciousness makes him an impulsive person. And that may lead to more problems than solutions. So it could be a good thing. And also it can backfire on people who have too much audaciousness. So the noun audaciousness tells us about someone who is likely to do shocking, amazing, or surprising things very often. So, what about the adjective audacious? Audacious is an adjective describing the representation of a person's trait. In the first short story, Jimmy was audacious for a short moment, but it doesn't describe his personality as audacious. It describes the action as audacious, performed by him. So Jimmy's audacity tells us that he's not normally a brave person in that first story, whereas Jimmy in a leader sort of situation, who is more like he has the audaciousness trait, that makes him an audacious person. So in summary, the adjective audacious describes someone who is really brave or courageous, like they're not afraid to take big risks. Or it can describe a single shocking or surprising moment or action. This might take a little bit of time to sink in, but bear with me. The noun audacity represents someone who shows bravery or daring in a situation where you wouldn't expect them to act that way, kind of surprising everyone around them. The term audaciousness refers to a trait in which someone is continuously brave or daring, as if it is an important component of their personality, and they demonstrate it often. Audacity, one time in a long time. Audaciousness is when somebody is lively, very likely to take risks, that kind of person. And there you have it. So if you have any other questions about this, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.